I am an artist. And that ability to say that has been a long time coming. It has not been an easy journey. It really hasn't. I started drawing when I was very young. I'm not quite sure what age. I do remember when I started writing poetry. I think I was around 8, so perhaps I started drawing seriously as an amateur artist during those years. And to perfect my craft, at that time, thinking that I had to draw images of people, I hesitate because I just saw all the things that I used to see in my head that were not necessarily people. They were things, or creatures, or entities. But I started drawing people looking in the books that my mother had and father of the disciples. I think I thought that was safe and clean and good and precious. Besides, they were touchable in the sense that, well, you have to realize I came up in an era of segregation and discrimination. So these entities were in books, and I could examine them very closely and be proud of what I did. But the things that I saw in the linoleum, in the walls, in the curtains, in the ceilings, in fabric, were also different. And I didn't realize that that could be legitimate art. I just thought that these are just things that I'm seeing with no explanation. My exposure to art had been, paper dolls. I always wanted to make my dolls, my ladies, so very voluptuous and Coca-Cola bottle shape and very intriguing with long, beautiful hair. And they had a story to tell. And I was going to tell it. I was going to tell it and live it out. And then, of course, I believe I drew guys. I'm not sure. Yes, I did. I drew guys. Maybe it was the Barbie and the Ken era, but I think I started drawing even before there was a Barbie and a Ken. I can't remember where they came from. But I remember it seems like my abstract art came from my abstract understanding of music. And I'm skipping from childhood to high school because I was a precious victim and blessed saint of the high school integration period. And I remember with music, I did not know musical notation, so I would, on a sheet of paper, would just do the lines, write lines of what I thought I was hearing. And I'm telling you about this because I think that perhaps that was a predecessor to my freeing myself and saying, well, you do not have to, in order to appreciate or to create, have to know the notations of music or the notations of art, at least you can create a category of your own. You can fit into a category of your own. And I have later found that my category is quite legitimate. I love color, and I love no color. Just like I love music and I love no music. You know, when I first sat down, I said, well, you can't get started. The best way to get started, perhaps, is to read a poem or to write a poem, because you know, Dorothy, that always works for you. At least that's what I thought. And so I got out a new journal here, and I thought I was writing the first page, the front. And I'll read you the few lines that I wrote. It says, motion, everything still. This is no mere sunset in my eyes. It is the beginning of the quintessential. And then I discovered that I had written in the, let's see, get you a picture of this. Instead of writing in the front, as this is, on the first page, I wrote upside down in the back, right here. So why should that be interesting? Well, because to an extent, I think that's the way my art is. I seem to always be upside down at the back of the book, starting. And you know what? Perhaps that's the beauty of it all. Notice that it does say that this is the beginning. It is the beginning of the quintessential. And of course, quintessential means that it's the closest state to it being perfect, or to perfection of a thing. And so what I'm finding is that rather than try to fit what I do into what you do or somebody else does, why not fit it into what I do? So what about my art? We're going to share that. We have so many pieces to share. Art to me is my soul. Of course, that sounds so much like what everybody else would say. So it's got to be more than that, except that it is my soul. And perhaps that's not even profound. It's just it is as profound as this is. This clothing that I have is.